This video is designed to help you start a spice business. At the end of the video, you'll find a valuable gift. It's a spice business plan that you can download, and will lay down for you, step by step, everything you need to know to start a successful spice business of your own. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. If you have an entrepreneurial spirit, and also a taste for herbs and spices, then starting your own seasoning business will likely whet both your appetite and your ambitions. Getting into the spice trade isn't for everyone, and the process of starting up may be more complicated than it seems on the surface. But where there are barriers to entry, like government regulations or a higher startup budget, there is usually less competition and more opportunity for those who are passionate about what they do. It is possible to make a successful business out of bottling herbs and spices, to make your own seasonings, and then sell them. It is estimated that the typical cost to establish an herb and spice business ranges between $800 and $2,000. This sort of company may be operated from the comfort of one's own home, which can significantly decrease beginning costs. A profit is made by purchasing spices and herbs in large quantities, mixing them together, bottling them, and reselling them. If you decide to sell your own seasoning, there are a few things you should keep in mind. Regulations and requirements. Check with your local Board of Health to learn whether or not bottling of spices and herbs is permitted in your region. Some jurisdictions may demand a kitchen that meets with particular codes and standards. If a complying kitchen is required in your region, you can rent one from a restaurant, church, or culinary school. Permits and licenses. Apply for a food handling permit, as well as a business license in your area. The permit for food handling will be issued by your local Board of Health. Make arrangements for an inspection of the bottling facility. In the U.S., the Secretary of State's office is in charge of obtaining business licenses for individuals. Sourcing the spices. You need to have suppliers who can supply spices of the highest quality and premium blends. Get in touch with the people who grow the various spices, and source directly from them. This will also help you in saving money, due to the absence of any middleman. Always source in the spices in bulks, as it will reduce the cost of transportation that would have crept if you brought them in smaller quantities. Remember, spices have a shorter shelf life and perish quickly, hence produce only the amounts according to the order, so that the client can have fresh spices for their use. A good and creative name matters a lot in the business. Choose the right, small and related name with your business. Register a domain and start the process of trademarking to claim your name on products. Putting the bottles together and labeling them. Purchase bottles for your spices and create a label for them. The label should include your company logo, the name of the seasoning, the spices that are used, and the meals that the seasoning is intended to complement. Purchase supplies in large quantities. In order to manufacture homemade seasonings, get spices and herbs in bulk from a restaurant supply company. Comparing costs amongst vendors is important, since some spices will be cheaper at one source while others will be cheaper at another. Consider the cost of shipping when determining if it is worthwhile to place an order from more than one provider. Request a discount if you are placing a large order. Create your own recipes. Create 5 to 10 different seasoning variations to begin with. Limiting the number of participants helps you to fine-tune your measurements and labeling. Work on uniformity and consistency in the spices, by combining them together and putting them into the bottle several times. Make your products visible. Create and print marketing materials like flyers, recipe cards, and brochures that provide information about your spices, as well as business cards. Inform others about your new venture by requesting relatives and friends to distribute flyers and pamphlets to their network of friends and acquaintances. Make use of digital marketing. Create a website that will allow customers to place purchases online. Make use of social media to promote your website, and to build interest in your seasonings. If you want to attract new consumers, consider making blogs that offer product discounts, and then using educational content to keep existing customers coming back for more. Distribute samples and provide opportunities for taste testing. Make it easy for customers to purchase your spices, by providing them with possibilities. You might even ask someone to organize an in-home party, where you could make a meal using the spices and then sell it to the guests in attendance. Make a big splash by hosting an open house, and inviting everyone you know to come and taste samples, and place orders. Set up a booth at a local flea market to sell your wares. Create a website where clients from other states may place orders for your items. Produce spice blends that the vast majority of your consumers are likely to use, such as an Italian mix, a Mexican blend, a chicken blend, and a steak blend, among other things. Organize a seasoning club for clients who want to get automatic shipments of certain seasonings, or who want to experiment with new mixes that you are introducing. The next part of the video is not specific to a spice business. Nevertheless, this knowledge is essential for success in the spice business, as well as in any other business. Ignore it at your own peril. Operating a successful spice business will depend on the following 4 conventions. 1. A practical plan, with a solid foundation. 2. Dedication and willingness to sacrifice, to reach your goal. 3. Technical skills. 4. Basic knowledge of management, finance, record keeping and market analysis. As a new owner, you will need to master these skills and techniques if your business is to be successful. Finding a niche. Small businesses range in size from a manufacturer, with many employees, and millions of dollars in equipment, to the lone window washer, with a bucket and a sponge. Obviously, the knowledge and skills, required for these two extremes, are far apart, but for success they have one thing in common. Each has found a business niche, and is filling it. The most critical problems you will face, in your early planning, will be to find your niche, and determine the feasibility of your idea. Get into the right business at the right time, is very good advice, but following that advice, may be difficult. Many entrepreneurs plunge into a business venture, so blinded by the dream, that they fail to thoroughly evaluate its potential. Is your business idea feasible? Before you invest time, effort, and money, the following exercise will help you separate sound ideas from those bearing a high potential for failure. Identify and briefly describe the business you plan to start. Identify the product or service you plan to sell. Answering yes to any of the following 3 questions means you are on the right track. A negative answer to all of them means the road ahead could be rough. 1. Does your product or service satisfy an unfilled need? 2. Will your product or service serve an existing market in which demand exceeds supply? 3. Will your product or service be competitive based on its quality, selection, price, or location? Market analysis. For a small business to be successful, the owner must know the market. To learn the market, you must analyze it, a process that takes time and effort. You don't have to be a trained statistician to analyze the marketplace, nor does the analysis have to be costly. Analyzing the market is a way to gather facts about potential customers, and to determine the demand for your product or service. The more information you gather, the greater your chances of capturing a segment of the market. Know the market before investing your time and money in any business venture. The following questions will help you collect the information necessary to analyze your market, and determine if your product or service will sell. This brief exercise will give you a good idea of the kind of market planning you need to do. An answer of no to any of the questions indicates a weakness in your plan, so do your research until you can answer each question with a yes. 1. Do you know who your customers will be? 2. Do you understand their needs and desires? 3. Do you know where they live? 4. Will you be offering the kind of products or services that they will buy? 5. Will your prices be competitive in quality and value? 6. Will your promotional program be effective? 7. Do you understand how your business compares with your competitors? 8. Will your business be conveniently located for the people you plan to serve? 9. Will there be adequate parking facilities for the people you plan to serve? Planning your startup. The following questions are grouped according to function. They are designed to help you prepare for opening day. Merchandise. Have you decided what items you will sell or produce, or what services you will provide? Have you made a merchandise plan, based upon estimated sales, to determine the amount of inventory you will need to control purchases? Have you found reliable suppliers, who will assist you in the startup? Have you compared the prices, quality, and credit terms of suppliers? Business records. Are you prepared to maintain complete records of sales, income and expenses, accounts payable, and receivables? Have you determined how to handle payroll records, tax reports, and payments? Do you know what financial reports should be prepared, and how to prepare them? Finances. A large number of small businesses fail each year. There are a number of reasons for these failures, but one of the main reasons is insufficient funds. Too many entrepreneurs try to start and operate a business without sufficient capital, money. To avoid this dilemma, you can review your situation by analyzing the following 3 questions. 1. How much money do you have? 2. How much money will you need to start your business? 3. How much money will you need to stay in business? In order to answer the second question, how much money will you need to start your business? You need to prepare an estimate of all your startup costs. Here is a list of items you may need to take into account. Note that this list is for a retail business. Items will vary for service, construction, manufacturing or online firms. Decorating and remodeling, fixtures and equipment, installing fixtures and equipment, services and supplies, beginning inventory cost, legal, professional fees, licenses and permits, telephone utility deposits, insurance, signs, advertising for opening, unanticipated expenses. Now, the answer to the third question, how much money will you need to stay in business? Must be divided into two parts, immediate costs, and future costs. From the moment the door to your new business opens, a certain amount of income may come in. However, this income should not be projected in your operating expenses. You will need enough money available to cover costs for at least the first 3 months of operation. The following list will help you project your operating expenses on a monthly basis. Typical expenses for 1 month may include your living costs, employee wages, rent, advertising, supplies, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, delivery, transportation, miscellaneous. Now sum up the total estimated monthly expenses, and multiply it by 3. This is the amount of cash you will need to cover operating expenses for 3 months. Deposit this amount in a savings account before opening your business. Use it only for those purposes listed in the above list, because this money will ensure that you will be able to continue in business during the crucial early stages. By adding the total startup costs to the total expenses for 3 months, you can learn what the estimated costs will be to start and operate your business for 3 months. By subtracting the totals of the lists from the cash available, you can determine the amount of additional financing you may need, if any. Now you will need to estimate your operating expenses for the first year after startup. The first step in determining your annual expenses is to estimate your sales volume, month by month. Next, determine the cost of sales. You may want to use a spreadsheet to do this. After startup, the primary source of revenue in your business will be from sales, but your sales will vary from month to month because of seasonal patterns and other factors. It is important to determine if your monthly sales will produce enough income to pay each month's bills. An estimated cash flow projection will show if the monthly cash balance is going to be subject to such factors as the following: failure to recognize seasonal trends, excessive cash taken from the business for living expenses, too rapid expansion, and slow collection of accounts if credit is extended to customers. Conclusion: if you have carefully answered all the questions in this video, you have seriously thought about your goal. However, there may be some things you may feel you need to know more about. Owning and running a spice business is a continuous learning process. Research your idea, and do as much as you can, yourself, but don't hesitate to seek help from people who can tell you what you need to know. As we conclude this video, it's time you get your free Spice Business Plan gift. Go to the description below this video to get it now. It is completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this.